Howdy, folks, and greetings, guzzlers. It is the weekend, and that means another episode of Ben Buys Beverages. And tonight we talk a little bit about how Ben also buys Battletech. That's right, I'm able to combine two of my favorite pastimes, alcohol and tabletop war games. Now, for those unaware, Battletech is a fun tabletop war game with lots of little pieces of big stompy murder robots that came out in the 80s, and it's been reincarnated several times. And now if you kind of look behind me at this gap over here, it's where I pulled the box set from. When I was first introduced to the game, it was set in the year 3025, and humanity had expanded to the stars. And then, in proper human fashion, it had fallen to infighting, as it does. When the game begins, there are 5 major houses that kind of run the galaxy. Because, no guts, no galaxy. Those houses are, you have House Davion, or the Federated Sons. And they are kind of like Space England, Space France, jammed together. You have the Cappellan Confederation, and they are Space China. You have the Free Worlds League, which is like Space Russia. You have the Lyran Commonwealth, which is Space Germany. And then you have the Draconis Combine, which is Space Japan. All of these are very feudal in structure, despite the fact of being able to travel and communicate between solar systems and, the big fusion-powered stompy robots that are armed with just a plethora of weapons. My favorite being the PPC, or the particle projector cannon. Now, this game has spawned, in addition to numerous iterations of itself, it's got video games, it has fiction and t-shirts, very, very successful Kickstarters. And from the fiction comes very specific alcoholic beverages. Now, then we're going to do one, and in fact, this is probably going to turn into a series over the course of the next few weeks. And I say weeks because of the ingredients involved. I don't want to be drinking too many of these in one shot. Anyhow, hold that thought. Now, these robots are not autonomous drone bots. They're all piloted by mechwarriors. So basically, it's a person in a giant stompy robot. Kind of like the movie Pacific Rim. Anyhow, and these mechwarriors are kind of like the knights of their time, with their mechs being their giant armored horses. And they're rough and tumble characters, both men and women. And there's a drink that has come out called the PPC. Remember the particle projector cannon? And this drink, according to the fiction, includes 4 shots of grain alcohol. So I'm using Everclear, 95% alcohol. And then the other component depends on, from which military you come. So tonight, I have added 2 shots of sake to celebrate the Draconis Combine. And I've already pre-mixed them in what seems to be a very fitting glass with a bullet in my shot glass. And I use my fancy mixing tool because it's Everclear and I don't want too much. And I use the smaller one for those watching at home that care. Anyhow, so this is the Draconis Combine version of the PPC. Kanpai! Not a drink for gulping. Oh, definitely taste the burn from the Everclear. And just a little bit of the sake. Let me try just a sip for tasting purposes. Oh, 4 shots plus 2 shots. 6 shots is a lot. And maybe it's just this brand of sake, but sake is definitely overpowered by the grain alcohol. For those who care about this particular brand of sake. I picked it up at Publix in Saraland. It's a Ozeki Sake Dry. 14.5% alcohol. Wow. Since this is kind of affiliated with militaries and soldierly sorts, I have to say a t-shirt that I've seen forever contains the phrase, "Pain is just weakness leaving the body." And I gotta share, folks, that this last week or so, weakness has been just flooding out of me all day, every day from my lower back. Not sure what I did, but it hurts. So we'll see if this remedy happens to cure it. And on that note, as the Draconis might say, kanpai, or which is Japanese for cheers.